All right, so update on how it's going down here, and we're doing the trim, and I got to do my own input, which is rare when it comes to decorating. And I wanted to do black on the trim with white doors, and everybody's like, I don't think that's going to look good, but I think it looks pretty good. So this is how it came out, and what I had to do was, when I hang these doors, these are just doors that I'm buying at Home Depot, and they're not pre-hung. If you want to buy pre-hung doors and spend the extra money, they're a lot easier. But the way I built it was, when I was framing my wall out and I got to this stud here, I made this stud perfectly plumb, level up and down. And then I went and put my hinges on my door, put my door in, and then as I continued on, the cord's in there now so I can't shut it, I used the edge of the door, I'll show you, to set my stud here so that I kept an even distance, about 1/4 inch or whatever, 3/8. And the problem was, when I did that, I didn't know how far out this way the door was going to need to be set. So my hinges, when I first put them on, they were a little too deep, so that when I put the drywall on, the doors were sitting back inside. So now that I'm working on the trim, I had to come take all the hinges off. And what I did was, I just took all the screws out. I left one screw here in the top, took all the rest of them out, and I would start at the bottom, and I would just move that one out, re-drill new holes, and close it, look at it, and see where I needed to get. Because what you're trying to do is get the door even with the drywall. Once you get that, then the trim goes on, then everything's going to look, nice and even. So that's how I did it. And because I don't have the pre-hung doors, you have to put something in the back to cut it. So I was just ripping pieces of this 3/4 ply to, like 2 inches or whatever, and using this as my stop, so that when you shut the door, it has a stop there. So I didn't care what it was going to look like on this side, and I knew that, so I didn't go with pre-hung doors. They're very expensive, considering, compared to just buying a regular door. So that's what I did. So we got all the doors in, all the doors pulled out, all the doors trimmed out, and then I painted, I painted it black first, and then I put it up. It's a lot easier to do it that way. I went with the black doorknob. So then I did that too. We had to go with, what we were going to use at the bottom, and we got a couple samples to see. Some are real wide like that. There's ones that are thinner. They're cheaper if you want to go like a 4-inch or a 3-inch. But the thought was, because the ceiling's so high, I thought a wider base would look better, make it pop more. So that's what we went with. So this one, I'm not even sure what it is. It's maybe 5.5 tall. So that's where we're at now. I just went this morning, got a bunch of it. This stuff's like $209 a foot. I got the first piece cut here and mitered. You got to have a miter saw to do this trim work. And I'm going to start right there, because we're going to bring the arcade game in here. There's a refrigerator going there. So I'm going to start here, work this way, get it all the way to the brick. I only bought 3 16-foot lengths of the trim. So it's not like I'm going to have a lot to do today, but this is to become an eyesore. I think I'm just going to rip the whole thing out, put drywall on it, and just forget about having, a storage area in here, because I don't know how to hide this. I don't know how to make it, look good with this corner. So it's not a big deal. It's going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt drywalling over top of my finished floor, but yeah, it is what it is. So, but and I got to get some quarter round and stain it to hide the seams here that's left, and it's just going to be the same as a stain like this and run it down. But we're getting close. It's looking good, and decorating is, the part that I'm looking forward to. Buying some furniture, figuring out how we're gonna organize and arrange everything down here. Tables, chairs, entertainment, seating, and all that. But that's the update so far. And we're going on, oh man, probably 15 months now I've been working down here doing it completely by myself without any help. So that's slow going, but it's also nice that it doesn't take lots of money all at once. You do a little bit every weekend, you drop 100, 200 every weekend, you got something to do on a Saturday, and you'll get there. You'll get there. It might take a while, but so that's where we're at, and really happy with, you know, blacking this out. I wanted to black these all out in there, and I kind of got a little pushback from the family about that, but once I did it, they were like, oh yeah, that looks good. So happy with that. Now we did go, I never knew this, but we went to Home Depot, which I usually don't use Home Depot paint because it's garbage. But we were there getting the trim, and I wanted black, and the guy was like, do you want black or do you want black? And I'm like, what kind of question is that? What do you mean, do I want black or black? And he goes, well, we got black, but then we have another color called limousine black. And he goes, it's totally devoid of color at all. And I was like, okay, well, let's try that. So that's what we went with. It's called limousine black, and it's very dark, but I think it looks really sharp, the contrast. So in the future, I think I'll be using limousine black when I want to get black, because it's really dark, and it's really kind of gives it a pop. So that's where we're at, coming along, getting close, starting to get anxious to have this finished. We're coming up on the holidays. It would really be nice to have this set up for, you know, have some people over for Christmas or New Year's or whatever. So that's the date so far.